start off with, I'm just going to start water and glue here and start collaging my stuff down to my calendar. So what part of this is that the theme or the thing that we do, a challenge, is to recycle an old calendar. And I just put some water in my glue because it's thickened up here. And then we've just been recycling it, and every month we have a different theme. So you can also follow along with these if you want to check back. I'll have the links to all of the other videos that we've been making, so you can follow along. This is July's, and red and green this month. So whatever you want, you can collage, you can just paint, you can do whatever you want. The whole thing is to recycle a calendar and do whatever you feel that you want to do on there. If it's watercolor, sketching, markers, to like what I like to do here, I'm playing with collage. So it's whatever your heart desires in those colors, and then we use the black and the white to kind of add to it, sometimes to darken the colors, sometimes just to add details. So that's just kind of our little cheat there, or whatever you want to call that. So I am just going to start tearing some of this scrap stuff up and gluing it on, because I just don't know what I want to do. I might start with some green here. I'm going to go with some green. I'm just going to start gluing it down, or I got my surface going, so here we go. Okay, so I have my collage now. I have my components. I always like to put a little pocket. I think I'm going to do a little project at the end of the year for that. So now I have my stuff, and I kind of wanted to do something a little different than just random scraps like I've done in the past. So let's see here. This is sticking. So now I'm just going to add some paint and do the rest of my piece here. So I got some green paint that I'm going to use up from before. I'm hoping that it will be good, and some red paint, and they're all Americana paint. And then I will be doing that. I'm hoping I can open this jar up without hurting myself. I want to use up what's in here. Got a lot of gunk in there. So let's see. I can add a little bit of black if I want to darken my paint. I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to add it with some water-soluble wax crayon. So then I can mix it. It'll mix in a little bit with the paint to darken up my project here. So that's how I'm going to manipulate the coloring on here. with this, just with this water soluble crayon, wax crayon that you pick up at Target or, you know, craft stores. Just student grade, just child, you know, play kind of a thing. Same kind of the same concept as gelatos or whatever you have. So I'm just going to do that a little bit here, darken that up. So then when I add the green, I should be able to, on my wet brush, kind of get some of that mucky, darker green look. And I'm just going to go over and see how it goes. I know I put some of these, what looks like plant life here, on there. Something I don't usually do. Usually kind of paint my design on, but I'm just going to play with it. I kind of got a theme in my head. So I've got something in my head, so I'm going to try to play with my scraps and make it, try to make them kind of plant-like. I don't want to give away what I'm doing yet, quite, so I'm not going to say exactly what they're supposed to be yet. I seem to be doing another kind of circle-y paint, like the last one I've done. It was kind of like lighter and darker. So, but I kind of gravitated to this one again, this type of painting today. I could always add more dark to that. And I'm still keeping with my theme of my colors. So I'm just trying to get some of my darker colors in here. Without having to add black paint, I'm just adding the wax crayon. That's called mixed media, mixing it up. I'm going to go in more a bit here now, lighter green. And smudge some of my dark. Using just water this time and just kind of smearing some of that water soluble crayon. There we go. To get, oh, this is a very dusty palette. To get my colors in there. What I'm going to do is just get my red in there. Quite dusty. I didn't shake that good enough. And start playing with my color combination. So I'm just going to grab my paintbrush again, the one I used for the green, and start with my center piece that I want to do. So here I go with that. Put this to the side. Here's my scheme, and now I'm just trying to get my painting going. So here I go. Getting that in there. I'm going to speed through it a little bit. Here we go. So I have the out kind of base of what I'm doing here. So there's my little sea turtle. So this is kind of supposed to be a underwater theme for me today. And now I'm going to try to smudge some green into my black. Paint green paint into my black and see how that works for me. This is abstract. This is fun. So I can kind of just play with it in any way I want here. There's no right or wrong. It's just whatever comes out of the piece that you got in your mind. So I can play with it as much as I like. I'm just going to move my palette over. I think I'm going to need some white coming in here soon here. I like pull a little bit of red in here too. It's a green and red theme, and I want to pull all my colors in just because it makes it more fun. It's like a mush of stuff. So I'm having fun with it. Get some of that colors in there and blend it, make it a nice mushy color. Now I want to get some white paint in there and try that. Now what I want to do is I'm just going to try to make him pop more. So now I'm going into my background a bit more and just whiting it out a bit. And that's what I'm going to do to just create that pop. And whatever shows in the background is fine. I just want to create a bit of a pop so you can really see my little guy, my little water turtle guy. And then I'm going to work more on the coral and whatnot. So this was what I was going at, with having some texture in the coral in the background, but I could also paint some in the foreground. I thought that would be really kind of cute. To have a little texture of coral in the background that I collaged in there, and paint whatever over, and you can still see whatever shows through. So I think that would be kind of cool idea. Now he's popping a little bit more, and like I said, it's abstract, so it's just for the fun of it, just to see what, you know, recycle some pieces of paper, recycle a calendar, and make this guy look a little fun and have some fun with it. Make him easy too, right? So there we go. So he's kind of just swimming around and whatever, and imagine him being kind of swimming up towards the moon, kind of a thing, in the water coming down. I'm not sure if I can get that watery look, but I'm just playing with it. I also had some wet glue when I was painting, so that's kind of cool on my paintings. I've been doing that a lot, where I did purposely not drawing it all the way through, getting a lot of cracking, and I kind of like that effect on my work. So this is just a fun piece. You know, recycling calendars, you can kind of play with what you want to do in the future with other pieces. So now I'm probably going to work on some background stuff, I think. So I think I'm going to make a couple of bubbles, and then this, I'm not using the greatest brush. I'm going to see if I can make a nice almost round bubble. I'm not too worried about what it's going to look like too much. Might have too much water in here. Couple of bubbles. He's flipping around and having so much fun, that guy. So we're just going to do a couple of bubbles that are green just because we can, instead of like a light blue or gray, because we're keeping with the theme. I could do gray because it's black and white, but I'm keeping with the theme. And there's my little bubbles. I'm going to dry them up and add some highlights to them, and then I'm going to work on the background. I've decided to mix this up a little bit more. I'm going to use Indian ink and blow on and see what that does. And hopefully it doesn't wreck. And if it does, it was fun playing with it. And if it doesn't, that's great. So I'm going to drop some on here and kind of use my paper, ratty paper painted straw and blow on it. To make more coral. Just for the fun of it, just to have something different. I'm probably going to speed through this a little bit, but it's actually coming out pretty cute and fun. So I'm going to have fun with this one. It's going to maybe make some muck up here, but I'm going to add just a little bit of green, some in the back, pulling maybe some ink, but it doesn't matter. I just want to maybe get my darker edges here in there with the black. I got a little bit of drips of green in this lid, so I'm just, or black ink, so I'm just gonna use that to darken up my edges a bit. And rinse that out. And I'm gonna also use probably this guy. This is my fine liner in black. It's going to catch on some of my texture, but I'm trying to just get a little bit more of a swirly effect, a little bit more too here. There we go. Now I'm going to try to dry it up a little bit more and add a little bit more color to my piece. This is what it's looking so far. I might want to pull a little bit of that black away, but it's pretty dry there, so I'm not going to do too much. So I'm going to dry it more, then get a little bit more color in my coral. I'm just going to try and dab some paint in some spots here. Some on where I had some of my red things poking out. I'm also, the bubbles in there that are showing, I'm going to have highlights on if they show at the end of all this. What kind of coral this is, I have no idea. I'm making it up, but that's the fun of it. It's just a fun, whimsical piece, and a way for me to blend my reds and greens and enjoy it. go. I'm just grabbing some, whatever, just kind of just playing with it. I'm going to have a dirty brush here, and I'm just keep pulling things off. I'm just going to use it to try to clean it off a little bit more. Use it to shade some areas. It doesn't matter if the shading's a bit red, but I'm using whatever's on the paint just to create a bit of a shadow. Because I'm trying to think of it, the moon's coming this way more, but there's going to be a little bit of a shadow in the water. Not much, but a little bit. I'm just using what's on my brush to create that for me. I might have done too much over here. I can dip in my white. I have to rinse my brush out a bit more. Quite red. Let's go green and a little bit more green. Play with it back and forth. Dipping in my green jar right here that I have right here. So I'm getting some funky colors, but that's the thing. I can mix my colors up a bit. And green and red. Just having lots of fun and just playing with what comes out of it. And that's that. I'm going to do some outlining on him, but that is him. I wasn't sure how he was going to turn out. It's turned out totally different than what I did. I wasn't expecting to do all the ink here, but it turned out pretty good. Fun anyways. I learned and had fun with it, so I think that's the whole point of the challenge, is to play with it. Now, I think I'm done. Unless something comes to mind, I think I'm done. I think I will go maybe sketch a little bit of an outline. Maybe with this, I'll see how I like it. You can just do whatever. It is a whimsical piece, so it can go, you can kind of fix things up pretty easily, I think. And especially if you don't worry about it, less stress, just kind of know what works for you for next time kind of thing. If you didn't like something that you did, you don't have to stress it out too much. Yeah, I'm just gonna do this instead of using my fine liner. Isn't he cute? I think he's pretty cute. I'm gonna do a little white on his eye, I think. Do more lining out on his shell. And then this piece will be pretty much done. If I do some details, it'll be just in the background once some of that thick ink dries. But I think that that's my guy. Nice thing about this too is I can blend it in with my fingers. Since his shell and all that stuff has been sitting for a while because I've been playing with other things, I can just kind of, he's dry, so I can play with it, give him more depth. That's a nice thing I like about the gel, the water-soluble crayons. You can really shade with them well with your fingers and stuff, or even with a damp brush. I like that. And that is that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Check out the ladies' links. I'm going to have them in the description box below. And yeah, tell me what you guys think of this little fun guy. And I hope you guys give this challenge with the 2-color challenge and add with the addition of the white and black. And tell me what you guys think of it. Give it a try. Talk to you all soon. Don't forget to craft like a duck. Bye, guys.